Hello everyone, my name is Kadek Jetira Prastiwi Raya. So in this video, I would like to share my reflection and learning from my syntax project. Syntax is one of the most interesting and important areas of linguistics because it helps us understand how language is built and how meaning is created through sentence structure. When I first started learning syntax, I thought it was only about grammar rules, but as I studied deeper, I realized that syntax is much more than that. It is about how words work together, how phrases are organized, and how we can form endless sentences using only a few simple patterns. So in my own words, syntax is the study of how words are arranged and combined to form sentences that make sense. So it is like a system or blueprint that tells us how to build correct and meaningful sentences. So it doesn't just look at a word individually, but it looks at how they function together in larger unit. For example, words join to form phrases, phrases from clauses, and clauses from sentences. So syntax is really the architecture of language. It helps us see why some sentences sound correct and others don't. So syntax has several important properties that show how language is structured. The first property is hierarchy. Hierarchy means that sentences are made of smaller parts that are arranged in levels. For example, in the sentence, the ball kicked the boy kicked the ball. There is a noun phrase that little boy and a verb phrase kick the ball. Each of these phrases is made from smaller unit too. They show that syntax is like a tree and grows and connect from the small units to bigger ones. The second property is recursion, which means that a structure can be repeated or histed within itself. This allows us to make very long and complex sentences. For example, I know that you believe that she is honest. Here, one clause inside another and another one is inside the clause. Recursion shows how language can be infinite. So with a few words and rules, we can create countless sentences. The third property is structure dependence. This means that the rules of syntax depend on the structure of the sentence, not just on the order of words. So for example, when the turn that statement, the girl who is singing is my sister, into a question, we don't just move the first is, we move that correct is based on structure. Is the girl who is singing your sister? This shows that syntax operates according to invisible structure that guides how we form question negatives and complex sentence. For my project, I collected 10 authentic English sentences from books, newspaper, and online articles. One of them is the teacher explained the lesson clearly. When I analyzed it, I found that the teacher is noun phrase that acts as the subject. Explain the lesson clearly is the verb phrase that shows the action. Inside that, the lesson is an object noun phrase and clearly is an adverb phrase describing the verb. Grammatically, teacher is singular noun, explain is a past tense verb, and clearly is an adverb. I also applied several constitutionally tests that understand the internal structure of the sentences. For example, in the teacher explained the lesson clearly, I used the substitution test and replaced the lesson with which give me teacher explain it clearly. This show that the lesson is a single constituent or unit. Then I tried the movement test and moved the adverb to the prompt. Clearly, the teacher explained the lesson. So the 10th sentence still makes sense, which means clearly it also single unit. The third test I used coordination test. I said the teacher explained the lesson clearly and patiently. So this word because clearly and patiently are both adverb phrase of the same types. The step have show how phrases and behave and how sentences are built in layers. From this project, I learned that syntax is not just about memorizing rules. It is about seeing pattern and relationship between words. So it helped me realize that every sentence has its own logic. For example, when we speak naturally follow synthetic rules even without thinking. Syntax is that make our speech understandable and meaningful. Learning about syntax also improve my awareness in writing and speaking. Now I pay more attention to how I organize my word, where I put my praise and how to make ideas flow clearly. So the most challenging part of this project was analyzing praise structure and drawing the praise structure trees. At first, I thought it would be simple, but I quickly learned that it required careful thinking. Sometimes it was difficult to decide whether a praise belonged to a praise of the prepositional praise. For example, in the dog run across the street, I had to analyze it across the street, attached to verb ran of the stand and it own as a prepositional phrase. Another challenge was that some constitutionally always give a clear result. Some sentences work with substitution but fail with movement. So this taught me that not all tests are perfect for every structure and sometimes language can be flexible. Even though it was difficult, the challenging part made me think more deeply about how English works. So I learned to look at language more scientifically and logically. So it made me more confident in analyzing sentences, and now I see grammar as something meaningful and not mechanical. Through this whole process, I realized how syntax helps us understanding language on a deeper level. Syntax so that language is organized and logical, not random. So it connected meaning, grammar, and structure. By studying syntax, I can understand how sentences are formed, how ideas link, and how communication become clear and effective. So it also help learning and teaching language because one, we know that structure we can produce sentences more accurately. So to conclude, this project helped me grow as a language learner. I learned how to analyze, describe, and explain sentence structure using linguistic tool. Also learn appreciate how powerful syntax is shaping our ability to communicate. I can see the structure in many minds. Syntax gave me a new way to look at language, not just word, but a system of meaning and logic. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening my presentation. I hope you enjoy my learning about syntax as much I did. Goodbye and have a wonderful day. Thank you.